Can you tell us some other ways that we're going to start seeing travel patterns changing and shifting to accommodate the recent events that have happened?
I think this is also, coming back to your previous question, it also gives destinations such as South Africa and other developing countries the opportunity to come in and say, well, listen, you might have considered other places, you might have considered other experiences. We also have a variety of stuff. We also have unique experiences, and maybe you should consider that. I mean, a lot of destinations in the past used to use safety as one of their key attractions or key attribute. Whilst we never did that for various reasons. But this gives us an opportunity to kind of like build onto that theme.
Now, how will the industry need to change to start accommodating these shifts?
I just think that sometimes the industry, and again, if I talk about developing countries and South Africa specifically, we are sometimes very slow in reacting to this. I would have thought that by now we should have gone out with a huge marketing campaign and say, well, South Africa is there, this is summertime, do a whole promotional campaign like we see on South African television where they promote summer. Do something like that so that if there is a person who is considering but is a bit hesitant, that this campaign can maybe just swing that person to decide, well, maybe I should rather go to South Africa. And also use good reviews from tourists. We don't use them. So we don't use it. People leaving countries saying, well, I had a wonderful experience. This is a wow experience. We don't tend to use that. And I think that we should. That's to our benefit.
Now, we've been speaking about tourists coming to South Africa. What about South Africans who want to travel to other countries, maybe even travel overseas? What are some safe destinations that they can consider?
Well, again, I think, and I mean, if I take myself and I do travel quite a lot, I think South Africans are less scared. You get markets, for example, like the Japanese, that if something happens, they would be one of the first markets to say, no, we would rather avoid that destination. I think we are less scared in terms of that. So I'm not convinced that South Africans would be difficult or to convince to go to even the current destinations where these attacks are taking place. They will most probably still go there. Yeah.
Even if we're still going to these countries, should we maybe be taking extra precautions?
I think so. And the problem with that is that, as I said earlier, that it's difficult. There's no clear pattern on the way they attack and where they would strike next, which makes it difficult. Even if you look at the typical safety hotspots globally, we all know that certain areas in certain countries you would rather avoid either by night or you just don't go there. But in this case, you don't have a safety hotspot or an area where we know that they're going to attack, or it's just not there. We never know what they're going to do.